Okay, so in the last session, the previous session, we just tried with a budget concept, but there was some issue with the instance, whatever we were using. Now it's an anyway new instance and all here. This will work. Okay, we'll just once again we'll go ahead and we'll complete the required configuration and we'll see how the control can be enforced. So, so right, these are the setups we already performed in that instance, and we stuck with the budget preparation. Now once again we'll go and do all the setups so that we can work on these pending tasks. So first we have to go create the budgetary controls. Go to project, search for the task called as budgetary controls. Sorry, budgetary control. So manage budgetary controls. Click on go to task icon. It's all about an EBS ledger level. We enable budgetary control. A similar setup we are going to perform now. Okay, here we have to select our primary ledger. Our primary ledger name is Cloud INC USA primary ledger. Okay, Cloud INC USA primary ledger. Just click on that ledger name. Enable budgetary control. And what level? Okay, ledger level, that would be fine. And say budgetary control is required for business unit also. If you want to enable, you can enable it. And say save and close. Okay. Now we have to create the control budget. It's all about budget definition. Just click on done. So manage budget, manage control budgets. Just click on go to task icon. So create. So provide the name, say Cloud INC budget calendar. We can use the same accounting calendar for budgeting, or else you may create another calendar from the same accounting calendar page itself that you can use here. Okay, Cloud INC accounting calendar. Periods for budget definition, Jan to December we can specify. Say other. Currency for budgeting, USD. And default rate type is corporate. Control we can go with the absolute. So select our primary ledger, Cloud INC USA primary ledger, and select budget manager. We can select our user as a budget manager, Cloud INC user. So here you can select which segments you want to use, which segment level you want to set the budget. Click on add, say company, department, account. Okay, so you can go to supplemental rules, which allows you to set up, which allows you to configure these budgets for business units. Cloud INC budget rules or any, you can write. Select business unit. What I will say, observe as a budgetary control for this BU related transactions. Say okay. So these setups already we completed in the previous sessions, right? So done. Now we have to assign the roles to the user, which roles will allow the user to have access to budget related functionality. So this we can say prepare for use. So the system will change the status. Okay, anyway, system will change the status to in use. So now we have to go to security console. The user is Cloud INC user. Click on username. Just click on edit. Say add roles. So basically you can see the major two roles related to budgets. This budget analyst role would be enough to have access to the budget related functionality from this user. If you want to assign, you can assign the manager role also. Say done. Now we have to assign the budget. What are the budget we created as a control budget that we have to assign to this user roles. The two roles whatever we assign, for those two roles we have to assign that budget definition. To perform the task, you can search for the task called as data access for users. So data access for users. Say create. So our username is Cloud INC user. Select budget role, budget analyst. Security contest is control budget. Cloud INC budget. Just click on add. Select role. Role name is budget manager. Control budget. So budget name is Cloud INC budget. Select. Just save and close. Submit LDAP job. Okay. Go to schedule new process. Search for LDAP. Okay. So we completed these tasks. Now we have to open the budget periods. So it will get synchronized. Meantime, you can sign out and sign in. Username is Cloud INC user. Then go to navigator. Since it is not at synchronized, okay, the roles are not at synchronized. We'll wait for some time. Okay, now we'll go and verify once again. So if you go to navigator here, scroll little down. the bottom you could see that. So let me minimize this. Here we have a task called as budgetary control. Click on budgetary control. So we have to open the budget periods. Go to task list. So click on budget period status task. Okay, and just click on control budget. Here we can see the status for all the periods as available for budgeting. Yes, at the time of this budget definition we selected Jan to December. Okay, Jan 2018 to December 2018, the period range. So that is the reason all those periods are available for budgeting. So now we require all these period status as open to prepare the budget. Set status to open. So save and close. Get up. Now we have to prepare the budget. It's not a journals. I think I written as a budget journals. Prepare budget data, which is equal to budget journals in EBS. Okay, prepare budget data. Go to task list. So say enter budgets in spreadsheet. Select our budget. The date range system is period range system is defaulting based on this budget definition. Say create in spreadsheet. Say okay. Fine. So select company, department and account, which segments we selected for budgeting purpose. Select company, and department, and for which account we want to set the budget. We can pick any one of the expense account to test this. I'll take miscellaneous expenses. Say okay. And for this combination, in which period how much budget you want to allocate? Say 25,000. So in case of EBS, we have a budget rules which help us to set up the budget amounts for specific account and period automatically, but here only the option is manually how to enter. So you may just repeat the same amount for all the periods. So go to enter budget journals. Say import amounts as entered. So later point of time, if you want to add some additional amount to this existence, once you provide this information, if you click on import amounts as entered, it will just system will create the record. If you want to add some additional amount, you can come to the sheet and you can select the same combination. You may add some 10 more thousand here for John. So in that case, you can say import amounts as additions. So now first time we are entering. So click on import amounts as entered. So if you want to increase the amounts in future, okay, you can go with this option. Okay, submitted this process. Now you can go to review budget balances. Just click on review budget balances. Why it is not responding? Let me refresh. Yeah, it's open. So which budget related balances we want to review? Same budget, Cloud INC budget. You can select the period range to review the balances. Maybe you may select Jan to December. Which company related budget you want to review? All companies means you can select all companies. Specific means specific. And which account? So we used which account? It's a basic 400. We'll say here. So just not sure which account we selected. We'll just go and verify. Yeah, this is the account. So for which accounts we have budget system is displaying 60041. Okay, this is account. So we created budget for Jan to December. Jan 25,000. So any usage or anything you used as a commitments or obligations or expenditure, and what is the funds availability and funds availability in terms of percentage, all the information you can see. Just we prepared the budget data. We didn't enter any journals or anything to reflect that transaction on this budget definition. Now what we'll do is we'll go and create the journal, and we'll come back to the same page, and we can understand how that would reflect. So for every period we have $25,000. So we'll go and create one journal. Okay, general accounting journals. Say create journal. Okay. Select company, department, and account. 60041. Enter but journal with the $20,000. So use any one of the account, no issues. $20,000. Just select category. Any one of the category you can select. So now save, complete. Just click on post. Save, okay. So fund status reserved. Okay, funds are available. So that is the reason system reserved. Then it will allow for posting. Posted also. Now we can go to this review budget balances. You can select all account values. For which accounts budget is available, it will display. Now you can see for the August month it is showing expenditure is 20,000. It's reduced. Okay.
Lakshman,
Yeah.
When you create a journal, where is the criteria that picks up this budget? Just I not able
Account,
to remember.
account is the criteria for which account you have a budget, and again for which period. Okay,
Okay, but like if you go and create any journal, if you and specifically choosing this particular account, automatically it will be referred to the budget journals, or it is a independent journal also, right?
that's independent only whether budget is applicable or not. System will verify.
What is the based on the account, nature of the account, or whatever the account you
For
used?
which accounts you set the budget. That's it.
Oh,
And again that account that respective period again the for the within the specific period for specific account budget need to be defined. I may set the
if
budget
we
for one account. I may define the budget for maybe for example for 6 months, Jan to June. If I am going to use that account in the July month, system won't apply this budget. It won't look for this budgetary control period end account, and it will look at the amount.
okay, understood. Thank you.
Yeah, fine. So that's how you can just verify, and we'll go on to create. Here from here also you can see, just click on reserve, it will display. Okay. So the request at 20,000, yes, that is available. You can click on that, the same journal, it will open. Now what we can do is we'll just try to create one more journal with the same account in the same period. So we define the budget for 25. Already we used 20,000. If you create the journal with the 5,000, okay, system will accept. If you try with the more than 20,000, more than 5,000, it will reject. Okay. So this is the account we have to use. For this account only we define the budget, right? Say okay. So I'm creating the journal with the 10,000. I have a budgetary control, that too absolute. Absolute means it won't allow more than. If you select advisory, yes, it will allow you even if you don't have budget amounts. It will just give some advice as funds are not available. Finally, it will allow us. But now we are using absolute. That should not allow us to spend more than 5,000 because only 5,000 are left. Save, complete, post. It should fail, yes. It's a failed. Only 5,000 funds are available. Okay, insufficient funds. Insufficient funds. Then you can just go to this man this task. Enter budgets in a spreadsheet. If you want to increase, you can increase it. Okay, or else you can just change these amounts and you can submit for this budget. I mean, you can just reduce that amounts as per the budget availability and you can proceed. System will allow for posting and all. So that's all. Just you can simply we can test the budgetary control. The next topic is journal approvals. We'll see how to set the journal approvals. If you remember setups as per EBS, the same remind you can find in this vision also. But only the point is, in case of EBS, the conditions and all will be creating conditions in the sense for which user what is the limit that's how we set in EBS case for journal approvals. But here, the rule will be defining from BPM. Okay, from BPM itself will be creating the rule. Okay, fine. So normal in case of EBS, what we do if we want to implement the journal approvals. So we have to enable journal approvals at specific ledger level for which ledger journals we want to enable the approvals, and we have to specify the same journal approvals as required for specific source of journals, right? Say enable journal approvals for ledger. So ledger level we have to enable and we have to set journal approvals for sources. For which is source related journals, the journal approval should be applicable, we have to specify. After that, we'll go and create the approval group. Create approval group. We can take one or multiple users into this approval group, and finally we'll create the rule. So create approval rule. And the rule will specify if amount is same or less than some amount, say same or less than 20,000, the people whom you are going to select into this group, they can approve the journals. Okay, we'll set the simple rule. After completing this, we'll go on to create the journal to understand how this will work. Once you create journal, you have to submit for approvals. The notification system will trigger and it will be submitted to the people who are going to be as a part of approval group, and it will verify the journal is within these limits or beyond the limits. So within the limits, it will allow the users who are going to be part of approval group. Otherwise, it will just it won't. The users will not have the other approval group which you may maintain. So those users will be able to approve if they have a limit as more than 20,000 who can approve and all. Fine. So first we'll go to the ledger. When you say ledger, we have to go to ledger options. So setup and maintenance. Go to ledger options. Task is specify ledger options. So specify ledger options. Okay, just click on go to task icon. go to journal processing. Here we have one checkbox called as enable journal approvals. That means by using this primary ledger, if you create the any sort of journals, those has to through with approval process. Again, for which source of journals will be specified. System is giving the message. So you have enabled journal approval for this ledger, Cloud INC USA primary ledger. You must define approval rules in approval management. Do you want to continue? Yes. We have the same plan, right? So save and close. Fine, done. Now we have to set journal approvals at source level. Okay, set journal approvals for sources. Which is source journals we want to apply these approvals. Search for the task called as journal sources. So we'll be testing by creating the journal within the GL. So we'll just set journal approvals as required for manual journals. Manual means GL journals. The same way we can set for other sources also. Just click on go to task icon against manage journal sources. So search for manual. So here already that option is enabled. Require journal approval. Already selected because this is a Vision instance, right? For Vision sample data testing and all. Oracle might have done already. So if you here just you can click on that option, the field will be open. So that's how you can enable or disable the journal approval for any source. Anyway, we require for manual source. Say save and close.
Lakshman, in EBS, we enable approvals in Ledger and we no need to do this step, right?
No, you should enable.
We need to.
Otherwise, no, 1 second. You should enable, otherwise it doesn't work. You might have come across a case where already source level enabled and you did not do that setup. That's all. Okay.
Oh,
If
okay.
you don't enable
Okay.
it, it won't work. That's all. How system will
Okay.
understand. The journal approval should be applicable for which journals. When I talk about journals, the journals may belongs to payables, receivables, or many other applications, right? You should enable, otherwise it doesn't work. Fine. These setups as this we do in EBS, same we are doing. So now we have to create the approval group. Approval groups. Okay, manage approval groups for financials. Okay, just click on go to task icon. Okay, approval groups. Click on create. You can give the name as Cloud INC for journals. And just click on add member. Click on search. Select members into this group. We'll select our current user. Okay, Cloud INC user. Say okay and okay. If you want to group multiple users into this, you can group here. Okay. Say save. Sorry. Fine, we create approval group. Now we have to create the approval rule. You can just select the task, the tab called as task configuration. Otherwise, from here also you can find the task. Manage task configuration for financials. By clicking on this task, you can navigate to this tab only. Okay, select task configuration. Go to workflow related to GL journals. Here we have that workflow. GL journal approval. Select it. It will fetch the entire the flow diagram. Okay, this is only BPM, business process management, where we can define the approvals. Okay, first we have to select the relevant workflow. So after that, so here we have a assignees. So these are the different nodes. Okay, these are all we call as different nodes. So which node you want to use, accordingly you can select the node. This node is disabled because the color is grayed out. If node is enabled, you can see in the blue color. So if you want to enable any node, you have to uncheck this checkbox. Now it's grayed out. Reason is we are directly accessing these nodes through read-only access. If you want to modify something, you have to click on edit task, then it will allow us to set anything. Fine. Okay, these are the nodes. You can just, after selecting this, you can click on edit. You can just go to these nodes with edit mode. Associated flex field is being modified. Okay. If you see this message says start synchronization. It will take some time, no issues. Meantime, we'll discuss and we'll complete the setup. Fine. You can drag it down. Okay, we have multiple nodes here. We can use any one of the node based on the requirement. Here, we are going to use the approval group, so we can proceed with this node. Okay, single approver. You can have multiple approvers also within the approval group based on that how you are going to use it. So go to this node and click on go to rule. Go to rule. So already here there are few rules which are already defined. Okay, 4 rules are there. The first one you can see as a part of vision instance. So within the vision instance you can find one default one. The other 3 are defined by you, somebody who is practicing on this instance. So make sure that those are disabled. Okay, since it's a test environment vision instance, I'm just recommending to disable, otherwise not required. So expand, we'll go one by one. So 4 rules we have. These are created by someone else. So we'll go and disable those. Expand, and here we have show advanced settings. There, just make sure that this active checkbox is disabled. Okay, this is rule is already disabled. Go to next rule. Okay, this is also disabled. The next one, this is also disabled. So this is active, disable it. Disable. After disabling, say save. Because these rules are not created by us, that is the reason we are disabling. If it is a client instance and all, we know very well. We'll create a number of rules. Okay, we don't need to disable whatever we created previously, right? Because this is just visual instance, those may create some issues when we are testing something. That is the reason we are disabling. Okay, so this is the workflow. You can click on edit again and go to assignees. Okay, you can use this node. Select, click on, go to rule. Here we can create the new rule. How we want to create the rule we discussed. If amount is same or less than 20,000, that should be approved by the people who are part of the approval group which we created. Right, that is a rule. So now to create the rule, click on add rule. System will open the rule space here. You can just enter the name. The rule name is Cloud IMC. You may write the same statement here. Same or less than, just for identification purpose, and expand it. So we have to go with if condition. If journal amount same or less than 20,000, who can approve? Search for journal amount. Okay, here we have one folder, max journal amount. Expand it, and here you can just go with the any one of this. You can go with the debit amount or credit amount. So debit or credit amount should be equal, right? So anything you can select. So maximum accounted amount, debit or credit, any one of this you can select. And directly you can select this option also, maximum accounted amount debit, same or less than 20,000 we are going to give, but select as a recommended by Oracle long value. The long value in the sense what are the amounts you enter with it as a long value. Select this attribute. So okay, now we just given if invoice, if journal amount is, what is the rule? Same or less than, right? Same or less than 20,000. Don't enter 20,000 directly here. Click on search. If you are going to enter amount, don't enter directly. Enable constant checkbox. Now enter the amount, it will take in the right format. Enter 20,000, say okay. Okay, if journal amount is same or less than 20,000, then what system has to do? Whom it has to allow to approve the journals. Then you can go to actions, go to add approver. So what we created, approval group. Go to approval group and select approval group. Cloud IMC journals. So if journal amount is same or less than 20,000, the people who are part of this approval group, the notification will goes to those and they can approve it. So this is our simple rule we have to define. After defining this rule, we have to submit this rule for validation. Just click on validate. Okay, after clicking on validate, you can go and verify the status of validation also. Scroll little down. You have here restore panel. So in the bottom, click on that. Scroll little down. Scroll little left. You can see our rule related validation message. No validation error or warning found. Okay. Now what we have to do? I have to say save and commit. Commit is nothing but deployment. For payables requisition, for requisition and purchase orders, we define the rules. For that, we have a separate user interface. Directly, we created from there. But for journals, we have to create from BPM. After creating the rules for the requisition purchase order, we saved and deployed. Here, there we call as deploy. Here, BPM we are calling as commit. So equal to deployment. We deployed those rules which we created for requisition and purchase order. The same way here we are performing. Now system submitted this synchronization process. It should not create any issue related to this rule. We'll proceed and we'll test. If it is not reflecting, we'll wait to see this process as a completed. Okay, done. Just create a rule. Now just what we'll do is we'll just sign out and sign in, and we'll create the journal and we'll see. Fine. Go to General Accounting Journals. Create journal. Approval status is required. The reason, this ledger level we enable. And one more point. See, for example, here it's all about testing and all we are doing. So now anyway, the budget will not have any impact on the account which we are going to use. We'll be using the different account. We are going to use the account which we use for budgeting, then definitely it will have impact. So just to understand, say you don't want to use budget. You don't want to use budget after defining. Say you are doing everything in the test environment. You don't want to use that. Can we disable that budgetary control at ledger level in EBS directly? To define the budget and all, can we disable budgetary control at ledger level directly? If budget organization is exist, you cannot do that. First of all, you have to delete the budget organization, then only you can disable the budgetary control at ledger level in EBS. In Fusion also same sort of rule is applicable. If you want to disable the budgetary control for your ledger, first of all you have to disable budgetary control for our organization. Here organization means business unit. So any point of time, if you want to turn off the budgetary controls, or else for specific source means, yes, you can go on to just do that. Okay, sir. Journals, approvals, or sources. Okay. So that what are the setups you did? You can just go on to reverse those setups primarily budgetary control. You can find your primary ledger, cloud inc, cloud inc usa primary ledger. In EBS directly, you cannot disable the budgetary control. Here also same applicable. You cannot disable. When you can disable the budgetary control in EBS, if you want to disable it, after removing budget organization definition, but here you don't need to remove anything. What you have to do is you have to disable budgetary control for our business unit. See here, this is grayed out, right? You cannot disable.
But Lakshman, if we have multiple business unit, and how you can able to disable the each business unit? Some business units I want to have budget control, some of them are
Enable
not.
accordingly,
In
enable
that case,
accordingly. Here only one you have, so one you are getting. If you have multiple, you will get multiple here. For which BU you want enabled or which BU you don't require, that you can decide and you can do it. But overall, if you want to disable the budgetary control at ledger level, means your definitely your plan is you are not going to use the budgetary control for any business unit, because all the BUs which are associated with this primary ledger only you can see here. Okay, ledger level you are
in
disabled.
that case,
Nowhere you are going to
so
use.
in that case, I have to disable all the
Yeah,
operate business units.
you have to disable all the business units. Then only you can disable at ledger level. That is the point. Simple point. You created multiple budget organizations in EBS. If you want to disable budgetary control at ledger level, what you have to do? You have to remove all the organizations. You have to delete. Same logic. You have to disable. Here no deletion. Disable. If I disable only one we are disabling. Now it will allow us to disable at ledger level. Now it is open. Same rule how we have in EBS here also. There we have to delete, but here you don't need to delete. Just disable that would be enough. Done. Now it's like undo. So this is the point we have to understand. Now we'll just proceed with the journal creation. Anyway, there is no I'm sorry, but there is no relation between these two. That's a budgetary control. This is a journal approvals. Go to journals. You can just do this journal approvals for the account, which account has a budgetary control or which doesn't have budgetary control. Anyone you can select. Only finally system will look at it's approved or not. Say create journal. So anyone of the category. So only system will look at amount. It never look at account, right? Budgetary control will given amount specification. Okay, just select any one of the expense account. Say 20,000 limit we given. I'm just creating with 15,000. Okay, save it, complete. So approvals are required. The moment you click on post, system will give the message since it's identified as approvals are required as this journal will be forwarded to the approver. So this journal requires approval before it can be posted and it has been forwarded to the approver. As per approval group definition, who is the right approver for this up to 20,000? The same user, Cloud INC user only. That means the notification will come to this user only. This user can approve it. Okay, the notifications you can see from this notification, this bell icon. This is one option. Okay, the other option is you can just come out of this page, expand. Yeah, here we have the same window. Now so here, requiring attention. Okay, requiring attention. Earlier, the funds failure it's happened, right? Okay, that's a require attention it is showing. It's kind of dashboard. So for which transaction this user attention is required, that system is displaying here. So earlier budget point of view, we have limit of 5 only. We created journal with 10,000. The same it is reflecting here. Now when you talk about approvals here, you can find out requiring my approvals. That means which journals need to be approved by this user. All will come into this list under this title. Just to refresh, system will show the journal here. Okay, the two places here it will come as a notification, other side it will be displaying here. Okay, it may take some time as the first time we submitted for approvals, the routing and all, it may take some time. What we'll do is meantime, so for us any one of the place if you could see, that would be enough. Just this user has to see the notification to approve or reject. We'll just sign out and sign in. Now you can see the notification. Earlier the number was 2, now 3. Click on this. This user got a notification as action is required. We'll see that. So action required. Journal batch so and so with 15,000. Okay. So approve or reject. You can just open this and you can see and you can perform the approval. You can just take any action. Okay, this is the actual journal. So it's assigned to Cloud IMC. So this user has approve limit up to 20,000. So say approve. This will be approved. When you are testing, you may take different user into approve group. I just taken the same user since we didn't create multiple users. Okay, even that should reflect here. But now to be submitted, it won't be available before submitting for approval. It has to reflect. Sometimes it may take time to come under this require my approvals list. Okay. Manage journals. We created journal with $15,000. This is the one. Status is approved. So that's how we'll do it. And invoice approvals also we have. At that time, just I'll explain more detail level. Now it's just simple process we just gone through. We will talk on that how to enable, disable the notes. Those points also we'll see. Now just it's a very high level, simple process and all. Journal of invoice approvals case I'll explain. So what are the other options we have? How we can manage the approvals. Okay, that's all about the simple journal approvals. When you compare with EBS as this, but there we set the rule and all within the GL itself. But here we created rule, approval group and rule from BPM. Okay. So we're done with this. Done. So revaluation, translation, consolidation. All we'll do in one session. Okay, these will perform in the tomorrow session. Okay, we'll just work on revaluation, translation, and consolidation in tomorrow session. And these topics already just we gone through this account inspector, these FRS smart view, account monitor. The period close already I just given the document within that you can find the complete process. The remaining topics. Tomorrow session will complete these three, and remaining these three topics and the pending topics will complete in the I think maybe Monday, Tuesday if required, Thursday also. Okay, within apart from tomorrow class, within maybe max 3 classes we can complete. Okay, we have O2C cycle. Okay, definitely. I think it required next week time also. Okay, we'll work on that. No issues. Okay. So that's all for today. Any questions, please? If no questions, we'll connect tomorrow and we'll see the revaluation, translation, consolidation with required configuration. Okay. So we'll connect tomorrow also same time.
Lakshman, tomorrow and Sunday, can we able to complete these entire 24 points that you are planning to cover, so that on the Monday onwards we can focus on the O2C, because O2C is important for us. We also want to see
Yeah,
there was too much delaying on the O2C side.
no. See, that is the reason I included, right? We'll be covering this,
Yeah, because you were seeing some interview options for O2C. We are not even gone to the
Yeah,
point
no
where
issue.
we
That is the reason
understand the
I
O2C.
included in the course curriculum. Okay, that is the reason you should have basic understanding. That people will be asking to test what is the level of knowledge, how you can create, how do you create sales orders in OM, how it is different from EBS. By they may be knowing about it, or else just to know about it, they can ask you with any scenario. Okay, we are going to
The
cover.
only point is we are trying to make sure that comfortability in advance, not to go last stage. That's
Correct,
why.
correct. That's
And
what
we
we
also,
planned. It's not like we are not going to do complete stuff, right? It's a basic configuration and do basic flow of sales order creation, booking, quick receipt confirmation. Finally, getting that information in the receivables as auto invoice, which we require that will be covering. Okay, we'll do that.